Jefferson Memorial, Washington, D.C. And the Washington Monument behind there. Very nice view from here. It's the lakes. I think it's the Potomac River. And in Northern Virginia, there is a Potomac Great Falls, it's called.
Diverted because of weather as well, huh?
I know, but they went to Orlando.
So if you take a bus tour, generally what happens is stop along the way in many places and it slows down. But that's fine, even for people watching the video. This is something that they want to do, is take their time and enjoy every place and spot. Right there again, the Washington Monument and the Jefferson Monument.
Beautiful.
So from there, yeah, I see that they have the Frank Roosevelt Memorial and MLK Memorial, and on the left side they had a Potomac Park. Yes. Again, you can take a look at the Jefferson Memorial right there. To my right. The bus went right through it. There's somebody boating in the river. It's a great weather for boating. As I said, there's construction going on here. Baseball field for the school kids. And probably adults. There are a lot of adults who love baseball. Each city, each town has its own baseball team, each school. Again, a great place to walk in the morning. Countless. In one city, there are probably hundreds of parks. When you look at some of the other places or countries even, America is gigantic, just gigantic in terms of its length and breadth, width, and economy still. God has definitely blessed this country. People need to keep it that way by doing good deeds, taking care of the poor, educating the youth and the young, and being generous to others while maintaining justice. This guy seems to have a lot of dogs with him. Right around that circle where you have the Potomac River. And different spots to take a break for the tourists. You can call it the Discover Point or Exploration Point, whatever. Your choice if you want to get off.
Here, but we couldn't get the picture, so we couldn't see it. And then we started aiming and going to
leader of this country, a president who helped a lot in unionizing the country and fought for the civil liberties and justice for all. The democratic principles were laid down by the works of the great Abraham Lincoln. Different kinds of tour buses, trolleys, trams, not trams, trolleys they're called, many different companies. This one apparently just takes to the Arlington National Cemetery. I'm not sure, maybe that's one of the stops, but any bus that you take actually would take you to the Arlington National Cemetery, where I also have been to take a tour. That was a few years ago. This is part 2 of my vlog on Washington, D.C. tours on the big bus. Double-decker bus. An Arab family sitting right behind me talking in Arabic. Sounds kind of familiar. After you have lived in the Middle East, it's like you're back home again. Families talking loudly in Arabic. Cultures are indeed different. People of different ethnic backgrounds, etc. They consider it very normal, like people of our South Asian background, most of them anyway, to talk loudly. Nobody's hard of hearing, but they just want to talk and talk loudly. It's part of the culture. As opposed to what I've seen in the West is like, they don't talk too loudly, but if you have lived in the East, especially like in the Southeast countries, there's a culture of silence, or people keep silent most of the time. They don't speak unless they have to, whether it's Singapore, Malaysia, especially these two countries, even Thailand. I took a tour of 50 students by myself in a big bus for 10 days from Malaysia to all the way up to Chiang Mai, which is the northmost point of Thailand. And you know, that was the only time when I saw that the students would come up to me, only some who dared to, and talk to me about something, because even then they were very silent, especially in front of the professors. There's the Southwest Airlines. I've never flown one.
heard.
All these buildings, some of them actually don't even say, or there's no sign anywhere saying what the building is, or maybe some very small sign somewhere, but people who live here, they know what the buildings are. In some of the older buildings, they have big signs, but it seems to me that probably some of those signs have been removed and replaced with the smaller buildings, the smaller signs.
So all you do is you see what I do with your chicken bone? There you go.
There's a big statue of Albert Einstein reading a book. On the left side, can't make a clip on that one because it was out of the reach of the camera. That's in a little garden full of flowers. New museum opening in 2026. Of the Lincoln Memorial. The man actually who all people in America that I believe and have listened to adore him for his sacrifices and his contributions and devotion to his country and love for his country rather. All these construction workers everywhere. I think they're on the left hand side of the construction of the new Lincoln Memorial Museum. That's where people are working so hard. They're scheduled to open in 2 years. Back on the roads again. On the roads again. So that's where the Arlington Cemetery is coming. I think this is the for their country, indeed, are resting here. The Arlington National Cemetery. There's also a military women's area at the cemetery. By the way, there's also a train coming to these places from various locations. So if you're interested in taking a LRT or metro, whatever it's called, you can take it and go to different locations. Like for example, at the National Cemetery here, also there's a train stop or station, and people can come here on a train. Well, there are many entrances, and then of course it starts with a visitor center where everybody would go there to have, screened, their items checked and everything, and then go on to inside the cemetery. Unless you know who you're going to, what cemetery you're going to see. It's like they all look alike more or less inside, but the names are there of the people who died for their country. The names are there. So it's not as if they're forgotten.
That's great, man.
And there is a way of locating as to on which place or area that particular person is you're looking for to visit a grave site, for example. It's all there. There's information that you can find in a location right after the visitor center or at the visitor center, and there's a bus or a van that takes you often, which I did, to a particular location of a person that you know who had died serving his or her country. Tourists from Canada. So, leaving the cemetery, I'm going to stop, and this is going to be the video number 2 or part 2 of the DC tour, and we'll try to make part 3 right after this. See you soon.